guys! Alright, so like I said, I'm just gonna jump in really quickly for this live chat because I'm gonna leave probably just after 9:30 for my acupuncture appointment, but you know, kind of feels awkward if I don't do my live chat on Saturday. Alright, so I'm just gonna wait in here for some more peeps. I want to show you guys an awesome gift that I have made my stepmom for Christmas, plus some really good deals that I got at the Goodwill. So I highly encourage going to thrift stores and secondhand stores and things like that, because you never know what you're gonna find, especially, you know, if you want to like fix things for giftiness for people. Plus I got to go to Julian yesterday, just a little quick jaunt trip, so I want to show you a couple of things that I picked up there. And then a quick story time, and hey, what up, New Age lunatic? Yes, I did make it. I was like, okay, I think I could do this, I can get on quickly, and then, you know, and then I'll take off and get knocked out in acupuncture. I don't know about you guys, but I go into like a deep sleep when I'm in acupuncture. It doesn't matter like what time of the day it is, although it is a little bit harder when it's earlier in the morning. Moon Magic, what's up? So yeah, nice to see some people in here. I wasn't quite sure if people would be able to make it because it's a little earlier than usual, and it's gonna be a lot shorter than usual. So yay, good to see some people's in here. And I have my green tea this morning, as per usual. All right, so since it's just gonna be quick, maybe I want to show off a couple of things that I got in Julian yesterday. So Julian is like this little country town in San Diego. It's pretty far east, and it kind of goes into some windy roads. There's like these awesome trees that kind of hang over the roads, which is neat. And it was originally a mining town, and they've just kind of kept most everything original, and they even have people that dress in like period dress, like 1800s. They have like this like super old cemetery that's out there, and when the gold ran out in Julian, they realized that they had these fabulous apples, so now they're known for their Julian apple pies and all that appley goodness. There's a shop out there that bakes really awesome candles, and this is one of the candles I got. I've gotten this before, and it took a couple of years for it to actually burn down, and I used it quite a bit, so I made sure to grab another one, and this one is orange cinnamon. So yeah, they oh, it's so good. They have some really good candles. I picked up another candle. It's a brown candle, and it's called Desert Rain, but that's downstairs right now. And I have a little like black tray that you put your candle on. You can kind of walk around with it, kind of like Scrooge McDuck style, you know. Yeah, it's an awesome candle. They have taller ones, but I figure it lasts so long. You know, I don't mind getting the smaller ones. Yeah, and they have those cool candles where they put layers and layers of different colors on, so as it melts it like looks like a rainbow color, or they peel it and they like do different designs of candles. I don't know, it's like really cool. And let's see what else I got. Oh, sometimes they sell like the little festive things that you can put like around your candles. I know I can make my own, but sometimes I'm lazy, and it's only like $1. So, and they give you a little bag, and so like in my little black tray. Oh, Sherry Bug, what's up? Good to see you. So in this like little black tray, you know, you could put like little like herbiness. I know I have herbs and things like that, but they're little pods, but they're shaped like little pumpkins, and they're like fall colors and going into kind of like wintry colors. So I thought that was really neat to kind of put my candles in. So that's downstairs, and I don't want to like have too much dead air as I go downstairs to grab it. Oh, and then another thing I grabbed from there is their little pumpkin spice bag. And what it is, well, I don't know if you guys can see, it's a mixture of like ground up, you know, seeds and herbs and essential oils. And what you do is you can put it in little sachets in your bathroom, you can put it in your vacuum bag, you can put it in trash cans, closets, under the seat in your cars, in gift baskets, so that it smells like pumpkin spice. Like, it's really, really pungent. So I put it in a little sachet and I put it underneath the driver's seat in my truck so that when my truck sits out in the sun or it gets like heated up, you know, my truck will smell like pumpkin spice on the inside, which will be nice. And then I put I put some in a little sachet and hung it in my my closet over here. And then I still have, you know, a good amount left in there. So I was thinking, since I'm going to be making some like gift boxes for Christmas, that maybe in the, I don't know what you call that, like filling that I put into the gift boxes, so I could put the little trinkets and things that I make on top. Like if I sprinkle some of that in there, when they open up the box, it'll be like pumpkin spicy. So yeah. And this was I think this was only like $2 or $3, so that was definitely worth it. And that was it for Julian, but I did want to, and I'm just gonna check on the time real quick. All right, we're still good. I went to the Goodwill, which again, I always highly encourage secondhand stores. You never know what you're gonna find. And sometimes, well, I had a sewing machine, it broke, so now I'm out of a sewing machine, and I've been having to sew everything by hand, which has slowed me down and let me know about patience, you know, instead of just cranking something out on a machine. But when I did have my sewing machine, I would go to the Goodwill and I'd find like these, I'd look for fabric in dresses. So I'd look for skirts, like big skirts and dresses, and it could be a god-awful design, but I just like the fabric. So I would take apart the dress, and if I really liked the fabric of it, I would make a purse out of it. I'd make wallets. I could like redesign it and turn it into like a mini skirt or into a top, you know. And so it doesn't really matter the structure that it's coming in, you know. I just look at it strictly for like the fabric, and if it's triple extra large, that means there's more fabric to use. That's awesome. But alas, I do not have a sewing machine right now, so when I get a sewing machine again, I will go back to making those projects. For now, it's just little like hand-stitched things. But anyway, at the Goodwill, I picked up these little tins. You know, it takes patience when you're thrifting. Sometimes when I go into our local Goodwill, it's like, it just looks like local Goodwill. There's nothing really that cool. But I have found sometimes when they think something's expensive, like they'll see Tommy Hilfiger or they see a Dolce & Gabbana or something, they're like, ooh, this is gonna be super expensive. They like jack up the price on it, but there are other things that they don't know are actually expensive, like not New York, NYC. You know, is a company, and Zara, you know, makes, and those are like high-end clothes. And I saw like a couple of skirts, and they were one size too big, but I have a local tailor that I trust, and for like $5 they can like tailor anything on me. And so I usually will buy something, you know, if it's a size too big, that's not a problem. A couple sizes, you're pushing it, but if it's a size too big, that's okay. And so I got this beautiful like high-waisted wool like pencil skirt, NYC, for like $5 plus the $5 to tailor. So basically it was like a $10 skirt. And yeah, I've done that for a lot of like my work skirts and things like that. I just I'll find something that's just beautiful silhouette, but maybe it's a size too large, and you know, I just go to my local tailor, and my local tailor is at my dry cleaners, and I'm friends with them because I taught a lot of their daughters, you know, because I'm a high school teacher. So I've taught a lot of people's children in the neighborhood, so I tend to get in good with their parents. And a lot of their parents own like the dry cleaners, the liquor stores, the restaurants in our area and things like that. So it's kind of nice. Those are like the perks of teaching. But anyway, they had these little tins, and I love to bake cookies and like little muffins and Filipino goodies for Christmas, and I kind of, you know, hand them out along with people's gifts. And these were $1, and they're like, I mean, look at the original price. This is $4.99, and I got it for $1. And so yeah, I'll be putting my, like, I put like some tissue paper in there, and I just put like my cookies. I got one of these tins, again, just $1. And I saw that people hadn't really like ransacked the Goodwill yet, so I was like, oh, I'm taking those. So yeah, Good times, good times. Oh, and then there was just a bag that was shoved in a corner. And this was $15, but it's just packed full of gift bags, like brand new gift bags. You're definitely good at the liquor store. Nice one. Yeah, I like doing like little like care boxes. And actually, you know, my my moon box subscription I get, I've been collecting those all year because I've been meaning to use them for Christmas. So I'm gonna like you know, like decoupage the box, so obviously it doesn't say moon box on the cover. But I've kept all the like the moon box like packing material, which I think is really cool. And then I'm gonna put my own sprays that I make in there, and my own jewelry, and some like little rocks and stones that I've been collecting all year for certain friends. And just, you know, as I see certain things that I know people will like. Oh, you're doing some witchy crafting right now. Well, nice. You know, I'm going to be sticking it in those boxes, and then I'm going to be putting them off. And I love doing stuff like that because I like receiving gifts like that. I like when it's somebody has actually taken the time to think about the things that I love, and, you know, and it came from them, you know. And even if they're not super crafty, or, you know, they don't make sprays or essential oils and things like that, that doesn't matter. It's like if somebody took the time to put something together because they genuinely thought of you, I think that's cool, instead of just like, hey, here's a gift card, you know, to Olive Garden where I never eat. But yeah, so yeah, for 15 bucks I got all these gift bags, and that's gonna be cool for Christmas. And then one of my other see, I don't buy presents from brands. Ooh, mince pies. Hold on, let me see that comment again. Oh, Christmas chutney and Christmas cake. Oh, New Age Lunatic. Oh, you must give the most awesome gifts. That sounds really delicious. But I found this little, it kind of looks like a treasure box, I guess. I'll show you guys. So I found this for, I think it was $2.99. Yeah, Christmas chutney sounds really good. This was at the Goodwill, but it was light brown, it was beat up. So what I did is I sanded it all down yesterday, and then I bought some stain gel at Michael's, since yesterday was Black Friday, and I was like, hey, score deals, which, because of what I bought, they also gave me a free ornament, so I was like, hells to the yeah. So yeah, I stained this dark. The original color, I guess, was this reddish color, and then I put some of the stain on the metalware, and then I took Flitz. Flitz is like it's meant to be like a car polishing tool, like for rims and things like that, but it's really good for like all metals. And so I flitzed these, you know, after I had stained the metal, so that it gave the metal like this aged look, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, it's a nice big box, and I have saved a couple of giant crystals for my stepmom. And what I was thinking of doing was maybe like maybe finding like a cool like little satin pillow or something that kind of takes up the space in here, and then putting some of those giant crystals that I've gotten for her on top, because I found out that we have like an affinity for crystals together, so that's like which is kind of cool. So yeah, and then I'll probably not wrap it. I'll probably just put like a big ribbon around it or something, because I don't see really how I'm going to wrap this giant box. So yeah, I'll just put this under her Christmas tree, and then, you know, the box will be a gift, but also the giant crystals inside will be a gift. So yeah, I'm pretty sure she'll like it. And I didn't want to use a varnish on it, because I do have, oh, that's actually a good idea, Sherry Bug. Put in a throw. That's a lot better than a little satin pillow. Thank you. That is a good idea. I am actually going to take that. So yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, put in like a nice little throw for her, and then just, you know, put the crystals on top. That'll be cool. Yeah. I have some Admiral's varnish, which is like a varnish that they put on to yachts and things like that. So it's a marine varnish. And I've brought like some bamboo furniture back to life, and I varnished it up and everything and gave it a high gloss. But I kind of liked the aged look with this, even though I've stained it really dark. So I just took some orange oil and I just oiled it up. So it has kind of a satin sheen to it, but not high gloss. Otherwise I think it would cheapen it. So yeah, that was just my little 2-day project. You know, I finished it up this morning and I did it, started it yesterday, where I just like sanded it and then stained it, let it dry out in the sun. So yeah, so there's that. And then what else was I going to talk about? Let me just look at the time. Okay, we're still good. Oh, so in a trade, I got these cards called karma cards, and I haven't heard of them before, but it's very interesting. You divide them into, there's like 3 groupings of cards, and I'll probably end up doing a review on this, but there's like signs cards. So like, let's see, we'd split them up. So yeah, so we have all the signs like Capricorn and Taurus, Sagittarius, Virgo, you know, so all our signs here. And then they have the houses, you know, like 1st house, 12th house, things like that. And then you have your, so here's all the houses. And then you have your planets cards. It's like Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, and things like that. And so what you do is you kind of shuffle the cards, and depending on your question, it's either supposed to be like an outcome question or an action question, like what should I do, or what will be the result of me doing X, Y, and Z. So if you're looking for outcome, you would keep the cards turned this way for these like blue, this like blue part, and then if you want more of an action answer, you turn it upside down for this orange coated part. So let me show you just kind of what I'm talking about. So okay, so I'd shuffle these, let's say, and I get Saturn, and let's say I want an action, like what should I do after acupuncture? So okay, so we have some action, and we got that from our planets. And then I'm gonna shuffle, and I'm gonna keep the orange side up for the houses. So what should I do after acupuncture? Okay, and then I'm gonna put that aside. And then I'm gonna pull from the signs, and we've pulled Capricorn. And it would look something like this. Okay, so let's see if you guys would be able to read it. Okay, so you're gonna have to read it straight across, like it starts making a storyline, and you read it all the way across. But you see that there's 3 sections. There's an S section, an M section, and a P section. So this would be an action step you would have to take, like spiritually, if it was a spiritual type answer. The M all the way across is the mind. So like an action step you would have to take mentally, yeah, there you go. And then P is for like the physical body. Okay, so if we read it straight across, it says we have the 5th house in Capricorn and then Saturn. And it says, like, what I would have to do after acupuncture is, hold on, I got these all mixed up. Use the most business-like way, and you must wait before you can do it dramatically. So, looks like I have to get down to business and do some things slowly before I can add some flair to whatever it is I'm doing after acupuncture. So I don't know, you can kind of read into it. I just thought they were really interesting, and I suppose you can really like put in your intuition and things like that instead of just reading it word for word, because otherwise you're like, what? But I don't know, I thought it was pretty interesting. So I'll probably do a proper review of those later. And the nice young woman that traded with me and gave me those cards for my cards, I gave her my Native American tarot. She also threw in a few crystals, which was pretty special. Oh, and also somebody else I had done a trade with, she traded me a wand for what did I trade her? It was the Crystal Wisdom oracle cards, and she makes wands, and she was like, you know, because I was like, sure, I'll just like trade some crystals, and she's like, well, she had this amethyst crystal, and she's like, well, I make wands, do you want me to make a wand? And she gave me like a few ideas of like, she goes, these are the type of wands I make, and I was like, you know, I like to be surprised. So I was like, you do your creative flavor, and whatever shows up, I know I'll be happy with it. And so this is what showed up, and I'm totally happy with it. And what I thought was interesting, you know, the colors red, white, and black, those are my old high school colors. So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, here we have amethyst, and then she put in some like crushed rose quartz, and then there's citrine going all the way down. So it feels like really magical, so I can't wait to do some spell work with that. So yeah. It just makes my other wand look so small, but yeah, this is my wand that I actually use. It's a little quartz point, or smoky quartz. And okay, so let me put these cards here away. Okay, so a quick story time for you guys. I know how much everybody likes story time. So I said yesterday in my video, my precursor video, to say that I was possibly going to make a live chat today. Okay, so at Thanksgiving dinner, my aunt announces, you know, she was like, this is off topic, but she says, do you guys ever get like a fluttering in the heart where it kind of feels like your heart's not beating properly? All of a sudden it just feels like it's vibrating or fluttering, and then it goes back to proper beating. And my dad's like, yeah, that happens to me, because this kind of happened to me all my life. And I was like, well, me too. And for me, it was, sorry, so that chiming that you guys hear, that's my front door. I have we have security cameras all over the house. We have security cameras in the house that sees every part of the house. Plus we have the doorbell, the Ring doorbell security camera, so we could see like who's at our front door, and you can like tell them to get lost, like you could talk to them and stuff. So it chimes when there's somebody at the front. Anywho, so for me, my heart would do the same thing whenever I do something fast-paced, or sometimes, rarely, it just kind of does it on its own, where it just feels like a flutter. And I've gone to the doctors because I was like, I don't think that's right, because I really can't. At the time, I was in college and I couldn't breathe when I did the 100 meters. Like, it felt like, you know, I couldn't catch my breath because my heart was fibrillating so fast while I'm doing 100. And so 100 meters is the one straight part of a track. You know how a track is like oval shaped, it's just that straight part there, if you weren't track inclined. And whenever I did the 200, sometimes it would occur, but mostly with the 100 because it's a really explosive race. And I would end up running the race really fast and dropping my times because I couldn't wait to get to the end so that I could actually breathe. Like, I wasn't breathing for basically, you know, 11 to 12 seconds of like no air while I'm racing my heart out, literally. And so I had gone to the cardiologist, and they had me like, they had the little pads, whatever they put on your chest, and they had this like little iPod thing before there were iPods, and I would have to like keep it in my pocket while I trained to see if they could catch it. And they're like, when an event occurs, you're supposed to press a button. And they said they couldn't really explain what that was, so they're like, you know, you're a track runner. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not how it's supposed to work. And so the doctors didn't really know what to make of it, because they said it's not a murmur, because they said a murmur has a kind of an irregular beat all the time. And so they said, we don't know what to make of it. You're obviously a really healthy girl. You're at a healthy weight. You got a lot of muscle. You're a track runner. So we're just going to go ahead and say that you're healthy. And so that's kind of like the diagnosis I always got, is like, it's healthy, I guess, you know? And I was like, okay, but, you know, I'm really not sure that, you know, my heart's supposed to be doing a little tap dance, you know, in my chest instead of, you know, thumping like it's supposed to. And so yeah, so it was interesting to hear my family say, oh yeah, we all have it too. And it's funny because my dad and my aunt, they have different dads. So I was like, oh, well, it must have come from Nana, because you guys have the same mama. So I was like, great, thanks, Nana. And then my aunt also said, she was like, oh, and also a side topic, I'll have to preface this with my aunt's like really into yoga, and she goes on these like yoga retreats, and she does all this spiritual stuff. But her belief system is that when the soul dies, that's it. Like it's lights out and you cease to exist. And so whenever I talk about my woo-woo stuff, she's like, "Oh, that's silly. That's like lizard brain stuff." You know, she's very scientific minded, but I don't understand how her two worlds work. But whatever. And she said, you know, she says, something's been happening more and more lately to the point where I can't ignore it. And she says, do you guys ever feel like you get hit with a bolt of electricity? Like you're like, boo, like there's electricity just like going through your body, and you're like, whoa, and almost knocks you off your feet. And my dad's like, yeah, I get that once in a while. And I said, yeah, I get that. And I know what it is. It's, for me, it's when I know there's spirit around, or a lot of spirit, or a very intense spirit energy. Could be angels, could be departed loved ones, could be just energy of certain entities, but for me that's what I know it to be. And so she's like, whoa, so I've been getting this, and I've been like starting to second guess my but my belief system. She says, you know, her husband, my Uncle Fred, passed away about 11 years ago now. And she says, and I always assume that when Fred died and I had him cremated, that's it. He's gone forever. They don't come back. They don't visit you. And she says, and I've just been getting this like boom, like more and more lately, to the point where I'm like, what is going on? She goes, am I being visited? Like, is that what that's like? And she says, because if I am, then that totally destroys my belief system of it just ends. You know, when your life ends, everything ends. It's total blackness, like you cease to exist. And she says, so I'm starting to like question that. And I was like, she says, well, like, sweetheart, do you get that? And I'm like, yeah. And I said, well, you know what my answer is going to be. I think I know what that is. And she's like, oh, well, poo, you know. But that was kind of interesting to hear that she gets that, my dad gets that, that's also maybe hereditary. That's kind of cool how like spirit connects to us as a family. So that, I thought that was neat. So back to my little heart situation. So yesterday I was I was having like a somewhat stressful day. So I went to the gym to go burn it off in the morning, and towards the end of the gym, when I knew I would have to go back home, yeah, she poo-poos it, but she's the one that brought it up. Like my heart started doing its like skippy thing, and I'm like, oh, well, you know, whatever, you know. So I'm drinking water, and I do my slow breathing exercises, you know, because that's usually what gets it to start beating properly. It feels like it does that instead of and I have looked at, you know, it on my watch, and it shoots up if I'm having a hard workout where my heart's already at like 170 and it starts to fibrillate. It goes up to like 209 or 220, which I know is pretty bad. It's pretty sure that's not good. But if I'm just at a resting heart rate of, let's say, 70, 80, you know, like my normal like walking around type heart rate, it'll shoot up to like 190. And so I'm looking at my watch, it's like staying steady at like 195, and I'm like, come on, like get back into place, you know. So I figure, well, maybe I'm just hungry, you know, and that's why it's acting up. So I'm trying to have a protein bar while I'm driving, and I was actually on my way to Michael's to go buy all that stuff for, you know, my stepmom's treasure chest thing, and it's not going away, and it's been like 5 minutes now, which is way longer than usually that occurs. And so I'm sitting at the stoplight to turn, and you know, they did a stress test back when I was in college, which was like in 2002, 2003, when I was at kind of the end of college, and my heart just, it beats fine. Like, you can't make it happen though. That's the thing. The doctors get frustrated because they can't make it fibrillate. You know, it just kind of does it whenever, or and 90% of the time if I go to explode to do a sprint, but not always. So the doctors are like, I don't know what that is. But they say my heart beats normally. Like, there's no murmur, there's no skip in there when it's normally beating. That it pumps nice and strong, you know, when I'm doing a, you know, something hard. And usually when I am stressed out, that doesn't happen, but it was for this particular situation. And so then it's just not going down, and I'm like, and I start to feel a little like a little worried. And then the thought crosses my mind while I'm sitting at the light, well, you know, on my new little Apple Watch, there's a feature where you can press and hold one of the buttons, and it's for emergency, you know, so it's like an SOS. It's like an emergency calls 911, and it has GPS, so that if I were something bad were to happen, I would just press and hold that, and then press like, yes, this is an emergency, and then, you know, and then paramedics and police would be able to find me. But then I'm like, that's not gonna happen. Like, this happens all the time. Like, I get my little murmurs or my little fibrillation, but it's going on for like 7 minutes now, and I'm like, and then I feel a panic attack start coming on. I'm like, oh Jesus, like, please, not a panic attack too. Like, I haven't had a panic attack in years. And so I'm sitting there at the stoplight, and I don't know if you guys have had panic attacks before, but it feels like my extremities are going cold, and I could feel like my heart rate rising and blood pressure's rising, where your hearing starts to go out in your ears because your blood pressure is going so high. And I'm like, no, and I'm like, and so I was like, I can't have a panic attack right now. And so I'm like stomping on the floor of my truck, and I'm trying to like ward off this panic attack. I was like, you are not having a panic attack. You are just fine. You are sitting in a car, and you know, everything is fine. You're not gonna fall over dead, and if you do, you're not gonna care. So and so I'm sitting there, I'm like gripping the wheel, and then I call out, and was he had an EKG a couple of years ago. They said it, yeah, they say it's normal. I'm like, what the hey? And so I call out, and I'm like, Archangel Michael, like, I need your help right now. I'm like, I'm having a panic attack. I need to slow down. And so then the panic attack just ceases. Like, it just goes away, and I was like, but I could feel like my heart rate slowing down, but it's that deep beating in the chest where it's like boom, 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 where it's like beating in your ears. And the panic attack put my heart back into place, is kind of how I put it. It's like it goes back into place, like back into its rhythm. So after it was like doing its thing, if I didn't have a panic attack, it wouldn't have started beating properly like it's supposed to. So in an odd twist of fate, a panic attack fixed things yesterday. So I thought that was interesting. I didn't know I would ever be like, thank you, panic attack. That was really nice of you. So yeah, yeah, that was kind of interesting. And it wasn't a normal panic attack where my whole brain's like in mode. It was my body was physically experiencing a panic attack, but my brain was like, no, like, you could stop this. This isn't real. You know, there's nothing for you to panic about. You know, it's just, so that was interesting. Have another thing of tea. Oh, it is 9:46. I have to go. 10 a.m. is my acupuncture appointment, and it takes about 10 to 12 minutes to get there. So I am going to bid you all adieu. I thank you for coming out and listening to my weird heart murmur story, or whatever the heck that is, looking at all my goodies and my crafty goodness. I wanted to talk more about Santa Muerte and everything like that, but I guess I'll do that another time. And then this weekend I'm going to be making next week's videos, and also the December reading. So yay! So yes, I am late. Well, I am late, so sorry, green owl. So anyway, I will catch you guys all later. I'm off to acupuncture, where I'm gonna go zone out and have a nice trippy experience, and I will talk to you guys all later. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.